So, my dear friends in Christ, good morning and welcome to our daily bread. This should be the 29th edition of our daily bread. We just concluded our global family liberation. During that global family liberation, a question was raised because deep within me, I did not want to leave any stone unturned. I wanted to carry everybody along in the family. But one day, a woman raised a question: Father, what of single parents? Honestly, I didn't know what to respond. What of single parents? Because it didn't occur to me. I was focusing on the family. Each time we talk about the family, we think of parents, children, and other members that make up the family. So I did not consider single parents, and it really touched me. In that book, The Family Liberation, we even gave room to widows. But little did I know that there is a group called single parents. Or even if I know, I did not even remember to include them in that book. But as God will have it, this morning, the theme of our daily bread today is a message of hope for the unmarried. A message of hope for the unmarried couples. Unmarried persons. It can be couples. And I will use this opportunity to make up for that loophole in that book for not including single parents. Because today's first reading recognize them. So who am I not to recognize them? The unmarried. And I know that one of the reasons why I ignored it or why I did not want to go into it, I know there are so many abuses. Marriage is meant to be for life, for better, for worse. But cases of divorce, we have so many cases of divorce. So many people have succeeded in getting their divorce certificate, while others are in the process of getting divorced. So at first I felt talking about single parents may mean encouraging divorce. But I now discovered that from today's reading and the little inspiration God gave me this morning, I now discovered that not every human being is destined to marry. Not every human being is destined to marry. Example, Father John Damian is a celibate. All the priests and religious out there, they are celibate. They are not married. So, apart from those who are priests, who are religious, we equally have some unmarried people in the society. Like Jesus Christ said, we shall come to that some are made eunuchs from birth, while others decided to choose to become eunuchs for the sake of the kingdom. So let's get the readings. So there is good news for unmarried persons. That is, at least have that at the back of your mind, that today God has remembered unmarried persons. If you are one of them, you start smiling because there is good news for you. Because I was like putting my shoe in your shoe during that 40 days and 40 nights global family liberation. We mentioned almost every person that make up the family. And now you were not mentioned. But today is your day. Today is your day. Oh, single parents, unmarried persons. Today is your day. Now, 1 Corinthians chapter 7 verse 25 to 31. That is today's first reading. 1 Corinthians, St. Paul's letter to the Corinthians, first letter, chapter 7 verse 25 to 31. Brethren, now concerning the unmarried, specifically, St. Paul is addressing this issue of the unmarried. I have no command of the Lord. He's not telling us what he got from the Lord, but I give my opinion. And I love St. Paul for this. This is one thing prophets and prophetess should learn. You should distinguish between the message that comes directly from God and your own personal thought. If you don't have the spirit of discernment, you will distort. You will not even know when somebody is speaking and when the Spirit of God is speaking. So that's why I told you people, beware of prophets and prophetess. They may not be false. Even the true prophets and prophetess, be careful with them. You know, God may use one to speak right now. The next moment is either the person is speaking or demon is the one speaking. So I have 2 ears. God has given us 2 ears. Each time you are speaking to me, and that's why when people bring complaint on this platform, I will use one ear to be listening to you, and I will use the other ear to listen to God. If you are not careful, you will not know when someone will be speaking and he will tell you, thus says the Lord. Beware, be careful. When you are dealing with these people they call prophets and prophetess, be careful, because most of them, out of pride, pride goes before a fall. Any prophet that is not as humble as St. Paul will end up misleading people. You have to distinguish when the Spirit of God is speaking and when you are giving your own personal opinion. There are 2 different things. And I love St. Paul for that. Whatever you are going to hear now is St. Paul's opinion. He said he has not gotten a command from God on this, but he is giving his own personal opinion. Very, very important. So if you're a prophet, if you're a visionary, when God has finished speaking, keep quiet. Don't speak when God has not spoken. Don't just say, okay, it's not every time that God speaks through a prophet or through a part. It's not every time you should just open your mouth. Blah, 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 blah. And that's why I don't use one particular prophet. Look at me. In this platform, you cannot see me using a particular prophet or prophetess. Tomorrow it can be Italy. Next tomorrow it can be UK. When you are now expecting me to use somebody from UK, you see me using somebody from Nigeria. Well, don't pack your egg in one basket, because the devil is trick. If you now target that this is the sister they usually use for message, you will see devil will now enter that sister and be talking rubbish. And that's one thing I love about Jesus Christ, the spirit of discernment. After Peter pronounced him, you are the Christ, the Son of the living God, another spirit entered Peter, and Jesus detected it. Jesus was able to discern it. He said, get behind me, Satan. We are not talking about prophecy here. When the time comes, maybe one of these days, I'll take my time to enlighten you further about prophets and prophetess, and then prophetic discernment. You don't just anything somebody say maybe somebody speaking in tongue. Demons can as well speak in tongue. So you have to be humble and you have to ask God for discernment. So St. Paul is telling us, he said, because I have no command from the Lord, but I give you my own opinion as one who by Lord's mercy is trustworthy. His opinion is trustworthy because he added God's mercy. God's grace has made his own opinion trustworthy. And he is speaking out of experience because St. Paul himself was not married. Whatever he's telling us now, just like Father John Demia, and whatever I tell you, that's why when we were doing Global Family Liberation, I allowed you most of the inspiration sharing. You were the one sharing, you were the one reading, because that is your field. But when it comes to celibate life, whatever I tell you, I am telling you out of experience. A married person cannot give a talk on celibacy. Because what do you understand by celibacy? Are you living celibate life? Okay, St. Paul said his own opinion is equally trustworthy by the grace of God. I think that in view of the impending distress, it is well for a person to remain as he is. So, impending distress. Distress is coming. This thing St. Paul is talking about more than 2,000 years ago is closer to us right now, the end time. Are you bound to a wife? If you are married, it is for better, for worse. If you are already, you look at the word he used, bound. You are bound. A married person is somebody who is under bound. You are bound. You have already put yourself in bond. You are not free. Are you bound to a wife? Do not seek to be free. If you are married, do not seek to be free. After all, the promise you made, the vow you make is for better or for worse. You are bound already. So there is no freedom. There is nothing like divorce. Are you free from a wife? You are not yet married. You are single. Are you free from a wife? Do not seek marriage. Are you free from a wife? Do not seek marriage. You are free. You better ask those who are married what they are passing through. It's not easy. But if you marry, you do not sin. When you are married, you are not committed any sin, but you are in bondage. You are in bond. You have already bound yourself to your husband. You have bound yourself to your wife. And that's why there's nothing like, it's right. You have to focus on one direction. Any day your husband sees you answering any hard call at night, he has every right to ask you, my friend, who is that man? If he asks the first, call the first one, second one, third one, so that is the bond you have entered into. And then when you are married, you shouldn't feel guilty. It's not as if you have committed any crime, you have not committed any sin. Okay? And if a girl marries, she should not sin. Marriage is not a crime, it's not a sin, but it's a bond. Yet those who marry will have worldly troubles. So those of you that are married, you are going to have worldly troubles. You are having it already. Worldly troubles. Mention some of those worldly troubles married people have. There are worldly troubles you have as married people. Can you share some of them with me? Share some of them, some of the worldly troubles. Let me continue. Very soon, answers will be coming up. What are those worldly troubles you face as a married man or as a married woman? The Bible recognizes it, acknowledges it. You are not the only one facing all this worldly trouble. So that you are, problem known. Problem shared is or problem known is problem shared. I don't know how they put it. Eh? Problem known is problem solved. Problem known is problem solved. Some of you, when you are facing worldly troubles, you are feeling as if you are the whole world. No, other families are facing. He says, money issue and trust. Donald, God bless you. This is one of the worldly trouble married couples face. One is money. Money to take care of your husband or wife, as the case may be. Money to feed your couple. Money to feed your children. Money caring for the family. Can you care for the family without money? No way. I need to concentrate on the message. So money for caring. You need caring. You need money. These are worldly troubles. Trust, mistrust, infidelity. Be mentioning them. Worldly trouble. Insecurity. There are some people, they are in their family, they are feeling insecure. Any text message that comes, you will see them, they will delete it. They will not want their husband to see, so that there will be not that there is anything wrong with the text message, but some men, because of lack of trust, you see, somebody has just mentioned lack of trust. Because of lack of trust, any text message, even the one that are genuine, that are suspecting you, so you are feeling insecure in your own home. Infidelity, that is worldly trouble. Character problem. Okay? So these are worldly troubles you have to face as a married couple. Sickness. What of if you marry a man that is sick? What of if you marry a woman that is sick? Somebody mentioned misunderstanding. You have not even understand yourself, not to talk of the couple you are living with. Okay? You may be living with somebody. In fact, the moment you marry a man or a woman, for the rest of your life, you will be studying that person. Even when you think you have understood that person, the verse we are considering is 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 25 to 31. Those of you who are coming now. Then lack of accommodation. Before you got married, maybe you were living in one room. But now that you are married, you cannot manage one room. You are a married couple, you are a family man. How much more when children start coming? You cannot manage one room. Accommodation is always a problem. Always a problem. And then there is this one. Barrenness, infertility in marriage. These are all the worldly troubles you have to face. The moment the child is not forthcoming, there is tension. There is tension from every angle. Okay? So some people talk about unforgiveness. It depends on the couples. There are some couples that they are they are fault finders. Husband fault finding. Any little thing, he will point fault, error. And that thing can make people uneasy. It can make people insecure. Any little thing you do, they will find fault. If you cook, they will say the food too much salt. If there is no too much salt, they will complain no salt. Fault finders. Family interference. The moment you get married, you are not marrying one man. You are marrying the entire, especially here in Africa. Okay? So there will be family interference here and there. External family pressure, left and right. Okay? So please get it clear. 1 Corinthians chapter 7, 25 to 31. That is today's first reading. Now, these are the worldly troubles St. Paul is talking about. He says, those who marry will have worldly troubles. And I would spare you from that worldly trouble. I will spare you from that. St. Paul said, personally, he will spare you. He doesn't want you to face all these worldly troubles. It's very important to know when God is speaking and when St. Paul is speaking. He defined it. He said, personally, He would have preferred you are out of this worldly troubles. Imagine me that, okay, I'm coming to that. Let me not even, there are so many things to share with you concerning unmarried. I mean, brethren, the appointed time has grown very soon. The end time is at the corner. Imagine when Paul wrote this. This message will make sense to you. The time is very short from now on. Let those who have wives live as though they don't have any. Those of you that are married, St. Paul is advising you, you better live as though you are not married. Okay? In heaven, there is nothing like marriage. And those who mourn as though they were not mourning. Those who rejoice as though they were not rejoicing. And those who buy as though they had no goods. Those who deal with word as though they had no dealings with it. For the form of this world is passing away. The form of this world is passing away. Oh, one cafe go. Oh, where's it be to go? Pande dona fofo, agaza potapa. Pande dona fofo, agaza potapa. Agaza potapa. Zabutafa, Ike Chuku, Diri Kanlo, Ike Chuku, Diri Mato, O Wagafego Kanlo. I know some of you will be afraid. This is a funeral song, and I sang it purposely. The meaning, look at the meaning of those words. He said, the word is exactly what St. Paul is reminding us. He said, for the form of this world is passing away. When you die, you are not going to be buried with your wife. You are not going to be buried with your husband. Except one funeral I went, where this thing nearly happened. One day I went to a funeral ceremony, and then as they were about to bury the man, the wife, it was after they were telling me the story, that the wife cried. In fact, has been mourning right from the day the husband died. He says she must die with the husband. She can't imagine herself without her honey, oh. So she was crying. Nobody could hold her. To eat, a problem. Now, when they were preparing for the burial, she said, please, as you are preparing for this burial, make sure you prepare my burial with my honey. I am not going to stay here without my honey, oh. When they went to buy casket, he said, make sure you buy casket that will enter 2 people. Me, I'm not going to stay with my honey, oh. I must go with him. As they were digging the grave, the woman said, that grave will not enter 2 people. Widen it, because 2 people must be buried in this grave. I cannot afford to leave my honey. For who? I must go with him. So, after the preparation, on the day of the burial, as they brought the man to bury, when it was time to put sand, I asked, where is the wife? They said, Father, please, please. This woman has been, in fact, it is our fellow women that are holding her. She says she must be buried with the, Father, please, leave this woman. Leave her. We don't want to bury 2 people. This woman has been disturbing. That she want to die with the honey, oh. I said, please allow this woman to come and put sand for the husband. Since it is the final respect, they say, Father, And the true, what they said, the woman, as soon as they left her, she ran with all her speed. Eh? But I don't know, that was the day I know that human beings have this thing they call break, shoe break. When the woman got to the grave, boy, I don't know how she did it. It was so automatic. The break was so automatic. She stood. She did not jump into the grave again. She was crying. She cried. She said she carried the shovel. She said, no, my honey, you have seen it. I am ready to die with you. Don't worry. Very soon, I will join you. Very soon, oh, I will join you. She carries her. Put. Very soon. Do you know that how many years now? That woman is still alive. Very soon. That woman is still alive. Oh, each time I see her, I keep asking, when will this very soon come? Very soon. That is the marital love. It doesn't last forever. I have never seen anybody, I'm yet to see anybody that died with the husband or died with the wife. No matter how they pretend. All those tears, na kro die tears. When some people are looking for their freedom. You know, if you go inside some of these widows and ask them what is inside their man, think every widows are missing their husband. For some of them, it's freedom. The form of this world is passing away. Whether you know it or not, whether you want to hear it or not, the form of this world is passing away. Also, be marrying and be remarrying. Jesus told, you know, there was a story that happened in the Bible. They came to Jesus and were asking him, you are talking about love. Who will inherit a widow? You are talking of heaven, kingdom. Now, in that heavenly kingdom, a woman married 7 brothers, and the 7 of them died. He married the first one died. The second man married her. The third man married her. The fourth man married her. And all of them, after marrying this one widow, they all died. I say, Umunna, Iberibe Torondo. These 7 brothers are the most foolish brothers on earth. The first one married the first widow. He died. Second one married the second widow. He died. Third one married it. I'm no more foolishness. Let me ask those 7 brothers. You want to tell me that there is no other women in this world? Must it be that widow? You didn't even ask what killed your brother. Before you got to marry that widow, you didn't find out what killed your brother. Because you that went to inherit a widow, have you ever found out what killed the husband before you want to inherit the widow? First one married her, he died. Second one married her, he died. Third one married her, he died. To the 7th one, the children are foolish. 7 foolish brothers. That is the title of that story. And now they were asking Jesus, foolish people asking foolish questions. They were not asking Jesus, on the judgment day, out of the 7 brothers, whose husband will it be? Jesus said, you see how foolish you are. Have you not read in the book of Moses that there is nothing, they will be like God? That there is nothing like marriage in heaven. There is nothing like marriage in heaven. Oh, they will live like angels and saints. Marriage ends here on earth. It is an earthly institution. Enjoy yourself. But all the things that concerns marriage will end here on earth. Nobody will say because you get married and then they will give you a special place in heaven. Everybody, both married and unmarried, I know there is another fellowship in heaven. I know there is another fellowship in heaven. Do you know there is another fellowship in heaven? I know there is another fellowship in heaven. There is good news for the unmarried ones. I have already taken care of married people. During the global family liberation, I told you the importance of family, the importance of marriage. But today, I am talking to unmarried people. There is good news for you. Don't be feeling bad. Don't feel that your world is finished, that you are not married, that your case is a hopeless case. I am here to announce to you, there is still hope for you. Even as an unmarried person, there is still hope for you. And don't allow anybody to condemn you. Don't even condemn yourself, because no man married you. They have been insulting you because you did not get married. Okay? Don't allow anybody to condemn you when God has not condemned you. Don't allow anybody to condemn you when God has not condemned you. Now listen to the message our Lord Jesus Christ has to say in the Gospel of Matthew chapter 19. Matthew chapter 19, I'm reading from verse 11. I'm getting down to 12. Jesus answered, this teaching does not apply to everyone. The teaching concerning marriage, it does not concern everyone. Oh. Even the teaching concerning celibacy, it is not a calling for everyone, but only to those to whom God has given it. This one concerns those to whom God has given it. For there are different reasons why men cannot marry. There are different reasons why people become eunuch. Different reasons why men, you must not marry. And Jesus is the one telling you today, look at 3 reasons why one must not marry or one must marry. Listen to the reasons. Number 1, some are not married because they were born that way. Naturally, they are not destined to marry. Nothing attracts them to opposite sex. They can live without sex. They are called naturally. It's a calling. God created you that way. We have celibates in the world today. Reverend sisters, priests, I know not all of them are called though, naturally. Even outside Reverend sister, lay people, there are lay people who are called naturally, but they don't know. They are forcing themselves because everybody is getting married. I must get married by fire, by thunder, whether God like it or not. Have you asked yourself, oh, am I destined to marry? Jesus is telling you now that some naturally they are not destined to marry. Okay? Some because they were born that way. You were born not to marry. And if you force yourself into marriage, you will regret. Others because men made them that way. Others, men, they castrated them. You know, they got them castrated so that they will, you know, in fact, men made them that way. That is man-made castration. Or even some of these religious, not that they have calling, but because the church said they should live celibacy. Men make you to be celibate. It's not as if you are called to be a celibate. They told you that you cannot be a reverend father unless you practice celibacy. He said, well, if that is the case, let me be managing. Celibacy is not something you manage. If you are not calling to it, ishiabakage, areayewage. Those are those people, those men of God that cannot live without women. Even when they are priests, bishops, they cannot stay without. Because they are not called to it. Men make them to live it. It is like they were imposed. They were forced. You know? Since it is a requirement for priesthood, let me be managing. Celibacy is not something you manage. If you are not calling to it, you will never be fulfilled. He says some, they became eunuch, not because it was from birth, but because men made them. But both the ones they castrated, you know, some reverend sisters are even removing their womb. Yeah? In the name of fibroid, agro womb, lufo, so that you will be free to be doing whatever you want. You have castrated yourself. You have destroyed your fruitfulness. And when you go back to heaven, you have a question to answer. Because God did not choose you because you are a castrated person. That gift of sexuality is what you are offering to God. So if you have removed your womb, just for you to be free, to be living any kind of life you want, on the judgment day, that is the first thing God will demand of you. God is not looking for those who are, he says some, they castrate themselves. Some that are born eunuch, they are from their mother's home. God has made them like that. Some men did it like that. Some, out of mistake, you know, you see, that is what is reigning among them today. You know, they keep castrating themselves, removing their womb. And you ask them, they say it's fibroid. That's removing fibroid. Now listen to this. Jesus Christ said, but some are unmarried for the sake of the kingdom of heaven. Some decided they were not from the womb. Their gift of celibacy is not something they inherited from the womb. They may not be called, but for the sake of the kingdom, they decided to sacrifice marriage. I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. No turning back. No turning back. Some decided, and it is between them and God. They say, God, I know what married couples are enjoying. There is joy, you don't, apart from the worldly troubles, apart from worldly troubles, marriage is enjoyable. When you see them calling themselves honey, 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 darling, sweetie, you know, all those beautiful names, and nobody to call you all those beautiful names. Nobody. Like during cold season, you are alone, or you're not to boogie. There is enjoyment in marriage. When you now have children, you have your own children. You know the joy of having a child. You know what it means? A children who will answer your own name. The Igbo people they have a name that say Afamefuna. Let not my name be lost. That's the meaning of Afamefuna. And now, as a celibate, no child to answer your name, no wife. The day you will die, there will be no wife to mourn for you, no widow. No widow to mourn for you. If you have ever gone to a place where they are burying reverend fathers, you will pity them. Okay? Because in that graveyard, the moment, and they bury them in a common graveyard. After the graveyard to your tent, O Israel, all those parishioners you know, all those connections, nobody remembers you again. There will be no wife to mourn for you. There will be no children to mourn for you. You are alone. These are some of the things unmarried people will miss. But let me tell you, do you know that for the sake of the kingdom, you can decide to sacrifice it? Ask yourself, Jesus Christ sacrificed his life, his own life for you. There is nothing I can sacrifice now that will be too much for Jesus Christ. This man that sacrificed his life for my sake. You can decide to sacrifice the pleasure of marriage. You can decide to sacrifice your name. All for the sake of the kingdom. But let me tell you, sacrifice without love makes no sense. Sacrifice without fruitfulness makes no sense. We have so many celibates in the world today, but their celibacy is not bringing glory to God. Instead, their celibacy is even causing burden. They are even nuisance to the society. A celibate who is depending on the parishioner for feeding, whether you're a priest, a reverend sister, a religious, and you are now a burden to the parishioners, your celibacy does not bring glory to God. If you're a celibate, every month is widows, CWO will be contributing for your food. You are a burden to the society. You are one of the cause of poverty in the land. A celibate but through Jesus Christ became poor, and through his poverty he enriched us. His celibacy was so fruitful that even the people benefited from it. That is what celibacy is supposed to do. Unmarried people, listen to this right now, because most of you, I don't even know why we are unmarried. What is the difference between us and married people? If we are not married and we are not useful, I think if I'm in a position, I will cancel that vow. If our position as unmarried people is not transforming the society, is not solving the problem of poverty, is not enriching people spiritually, why should we live celibacy? Now listen to this. This same St. Paul in 1 Corinthians chapter 7 verse 32 has a message for unmarried men and women. Unmarried men and women, listen, it's not just easy. They say, I'm not married. And because you're not married, you have license to be going anywhere. Every morning, after morning mass, you start a car. You will be jumping from one place to another, aimlessly, purposelessly, without any focus in life. When it is time now for football, you know, you will spend time watching football because you have no responsibility. You don't know that to whom much is given, much is expected. God has set you free for you to be useful to the society. You know, for you to be at the service of humanity. You know, Babuba. Castigated goat. That is what some of you are. 1 Corinthians chapter 7 verse 32. Listen to what St. Paul has to say. He said, I would like you to be free from worry. I would like you to be free from worry. We have talked about worldly troubles which married couples go through. And St. Paul is telling you, I will want you to be free from worry. An unmarried man concerns himself with the Lord's work. An unmarried man, oh, your only concern is for the work of God, oh, not the work of politicians, not the work of the rich. You are at the service of God, not even your family. Is that why you were ordained? For your family. And your parishioners are suffering. An unmarried man concerns himself with the work of the Lord. Because he is trying to please the Lord. You have to. That is your priority. That is why you are a celibate. You have no other business on earth. Some of you who are looking for government work, salaried work, is that the work of God? You are dragging work with 11 people. And tomorrow we say no work, no work, no work, no work. You are working for government, you are not working for God. You are working for the rich, you are not working for God anything. All because of money. You are working for money. Any religion that is working for salary, you are working for money, you are not working for God. What do you even use that money you receive to do? How many people have you empowered, unmarried person? Verse 33. But a married man concerns himself with worldly matters. Married people, you have the license for worldly things. You can acquire whatever you want to acquire. Yeah, you can enter into any business you want, so long as they are legal. Okay? And worldly things, that is married people. You are the one that have the license to work for government, to work for even self-employed. You have every right to do whatever you want to do as a married person, but not an unmarried person. He said, but the unmarried man concerning himself with worldly matters because he wants to please his wife. Oh, that is the reason why God has given you license. You must please your wife. You are already bound to this woman. Your whole life is to please her. Husband, love your wife as Christ loved the church, to the extent of laying down his life. Men, you must love your wife so that you lay down your life for your wife. That is what Jesus Christ did for the church. So unmarried people, take note. Your preoccupation as an unmarried man has to do with the work of God, nothing else. Now that explains the reason why some people will come on this platform. They say, lazy man, morning hour you are here, afternoon you are here, night you are here. Tell me, what else do you expect me to do as an unmarried man? Is it market that I will be going? What else do you expect me to be doing as somebody who is not married. Eh? If I cannot do the work of God, there is nothing on this head again. No, nothing. I have no agenda. Eh? The only agenda I have now is this work of God. If I stand up here now, the next place you will see me is adoration ground. Continue the work of God. When I come back at night, I will still be here doing the work of God. That is unmarried man. You have no other business on earth. Read it again, 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 32. For those of you who are thinking that I'm wasting my time, I am not wasting my time. I am doing what God said I should do. An unmarried man concerns himself with the Lord's work. Why? Because he is trying to please God. That is it. I have no woman to try to please. Imagine if I'm a married man, I'm always here. Morning, afternoon, night. My children will die of hunger. Okay? I have to go out and hustle. And then at times I will go and look at my wife's face. Look whether she's smiling. Honey, I hope you no problem. Well, I hope no problem. Honey, darling, sweetie, I will make sure that she is happy for me. As a married man, you understand? I will pay her. And at times she can say, honey, I need you. Like now, it is raining. It is raining. And there is no way if I'm married, I can allow my wife to be suffering of this cold. I'll go and cook oil, make sure she's feeling warmth. That is the work of a married man. But an unmarried man, whether it is raining or Hamatan or so, you have no other business than the work of God. Hey, that is where you will find your fulfillment. The work of God. Many days ago, the importance of code. Okay? That is the unmarried man. But a married man can always take excuse. Nah, please, let me go and check my wife. And it's understandable. You can excuse him because that is his primary role. You can give him break. You can give him weekend. I don't even have weekend. Did you notice that even over the weekend I'm almost here? There's nothing like weekend for me. There's nothing like summer holidays for me because I am here for the work of God. And that is what every ordained minister should do. 24/7, the work of God. Because you have been given freedom, license to do the work of God. Nothing should distract you. Nothing should take away this precious assignment. This is where you should find your fulfillment. And anytime I wake up, the first thing that comes up to my mind is this platform, the work of God. Okay, the little time I have, I'll go and enter the chapel, pray, prepare myself, bam, I'm online. The work of God. And that is what gives me joy as an unmarried man. Now, verse 34. Okay, he said a married man is pulled in two directions. If you are married, you're already pulled in two directions. And I will not want all this, any of this, celibates. Don't allow yourself to be pulled in two directions. When there is distraction, you will know. Even when you are preaching, empty, because you are pulled in two directions. You are thinking about your friend, your girlfriend you are maintaining. You are thinking about your wife. You are pulled in two directions. But if it is the work of God, 24/7, you are divinely, you are spiritually connected. Holy Spirit can use you anytime. Okay? So, my dear, that is it. Verse 34, it says the man is pulled in two directions. All these married men, sorry. You are pulled in two directions. Not only the things of God now and the things of your wife, even the things of your family. Married people, I pity them all. If I should come back to this world, I will still be a priest. Because women, very difficult people to deal with. Very difficult people. Even these women, they are putting an unmarried woman. Now listen to this. An unmarried woman or a virgin consign herself. That is 1 Corinthians chapter 7 verse 34. I'm talking to unmarried women now. Unmarried women, listen. Tomorrow night you say, Father, please, I didn't tell. Today is your day. An unmarried woman or a virgin consigns herself with the work of God, with the Lord's work, because she wants to be dedicated both in body and in spirit. But a married woman consigns herself with worldly matters because she wants to please her husband. Even when she's doing the work of God, it's not easy. It's not easy. Oh. Married women, you can agree with me that it's not an easy road. For we are traveling to heaven, and many are the trials on the way. It's not an easy road, but the Savior is with us. His presence gives us joy every day. No, it's not an easy way. No, it's not an easy way. But Jesus goes with us, and bright is the light way. And bang, 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 bang. No, if you're a married woman, sorry, it's not an easy way. I can understand what you people are passing through. It's not an easy way to please a man. You know what it takes to please a man? It's not easy. Unless a God-fearing man, he will not make it easy for you. But when you marry a difficult man, it's not an easy way. There's a way you will even pray. He say, they will always find fault. They know that without that prayer, they can't. It is prayer that is sustaining the family, but they will still be making it difficult for you. Yeah. So men, they are just like tongues in the flesh. And my fellow men, if you want to live long, don't be so harsh to your wife. If you want to live happily long, men, I'm telling you now, I'm advising you now, don't be so rude and harsh to your wife. Your life is in the hand of your wife. If you don't know it, you know it now. If you're a man and you want to live long, old age, canker, please don't be so harsh. Don't be so rude to your wife. Okay? And you people should help yourself. We have sang it's not an easy road. But as you make your bed, so you lie on it. Some people have made it an easy way. Some people have decided to, understand themselves. Some people have so I look at that. I thank God for giving me a good husband. Josephine, congratulations. Zara said God has given her a good husband. So if you have a good husband, you should be happy. But if you have all this husband, they will just come back. The only thing they are looking for fault. Now, who put this book here? My friend, who did this? Daddy, welcome. You people, you have not swept this house today? Eh? Hey. Nah, that man is a terror. That man is a terror. And that's why if you are married to such man, or maybe he comes home, when he was leaving, he saw you watching Divine Mercy program. Coming back, see you again, watch. Nah, so when the question was that la, or the Divine Mercy. Yeah, you see them getting at your nerves. I know it's not easy. That is in the oh. But if you are lucky, you have a good, like that couple that called me from America 2 days ago. He said herself and the husband, they were watching it and they were laughing. That is how it's supposed to be. My man, if you want to last long, cool down, oh. Cool down. Love what your wife love. Try, at least pretend to love what your wife love. Okay? So, same with your wife. Pretend to love what your husband love. So that this life, but if you are only finding fault, very soon you will develop hypertension and you will die. And then we have so many widows today. Don't just develop unnecessary hypertension for yourself. Okay? You should equally help yourself. Help yourself. Nobody is perfect, oh. Fault finders. Nobody is perfect. The beautiful ones are not yet born. Okay, now, Father, you know it all. Hey! Okay, now let me tell you now, we are talking about unmarried people. My dear single mothers, I don't care what made you to be single mother. I don't even care what made you to be single father. Single parents, oh yeah, this message is for you. That you are not married is not a license for you to be unfruitful. That you are not married does not mean you cannot be responsible. We have so many irresponsible unmarried people in the world today. It's just that you are not seeing your state as God's plan for you. The day you will accept whatever happens to you, whatever state you find yourself, as the will of God, I can assure you, you will become fruitful. You must not be married for you to be responsible. You must not be married for you to be fruitful. Take example, Father John Daniel is not married. I'm in the same class with you people. But I cannot say I am not fruitful today. I cannot say I am not responsible today. As you make your bed, so you lie on it. Now that God has set you free, you tried your best to get married and none is coming. Why can't you accept it as the will of God? Because you will get frustrated. Every marriage, you will get angry because it is not your marriage. And you are getting older. Why can't you accept your state? Have you even asked yourself, am I created to be married? Jesus has already told you that some are not married because from birth they are not destined to marry. Some are not married because they decided to sacrifice marriage for the kingdom of heaven. And the St. Paul now said that unmarried woman concerns herself with the things of God. That's 1 Corinthians chapter 7 verse 34. Now that you are not married, why not use your whole strength, your whole wealth, your whole being for the things of God? Must you be frustrated? Must you be looking gloomy? Must you be complaining? Forget what the culture is saying. Culture says every man must marry, every woman must marry. But God said, I have given you quotations to help you. God is telling you today, you must not be married. You must not be married. And even this one that are married, it is only here on earth. They are not going to continue with their marriage in heaven. Marriage is not taking you to heaven. It is not a ticket to heaven. And some of you are making it as if without marriage you are nobody. Take it from President General. With or without marriage, you can still make it to heaven. You can still live a fruitful life. You can still live a responsible life. For my daughter, stop feeling bad. Stop feeling rejected. Forget what people are saying. Let them say whatever they want to say. If you can make it become rich, even the married people will come to beg from you. Try to succeed. That is the most important thing. When you succeed in life, you can adopt. If in fact you can even be helping the orphans. Orphans, you are not married. You have no children. Those children have no parents. Okay, they have no parents, so that you unmarried ones can be their parents. You have no children, so that those orphans can be your children. You can decide to be responsible by taking care of orphans, because they are God's children. Those orphans are God's children. Anywhere you see them, they are your children. That you are not married does not mean you should not take care of anybody. You are just drying like a oboroko, stockfish, dry fish. You are drying, getting annoyed, get ahombakasa, because you didn't get married. Were you destined to marry? When last did you ask yourself honestly and realistically, am I destined to marry? Thank God I discovered my own on time, and that's why I will never be frustrated in life. I discovered that Father John Damian is not destined to marry. His life is for the others, for others, for others. Everything about me is for others, not for my own selfish interest. Because if I have my own children now, they will answer my name. But I have to take care of, Father Wanine. A father without child, a father without any child of his own biological child, but yet he is the father of the whole world. He got the whole world in your hand. He got the whole world in your hand. He got the whole world. He got the whole world in your hand. So that you don't have children means your own children are more than. He said the children of the barren, they are more than the children of those who have children. All the orphans in the world are your children. Take care of them, and they will take care of you. Any orphan you train, some of them may even take care of you more than the ones with parents. If you are lucky to take care of an orphan that is responsible, that orphan will never forget you. And anywhere that orphan goes, he will always, refer to you. You are my, if not for you, if not for so and so person, by then you are becoming fruitful. But if you are here, you are not married, and you are not helping anybody, that is when I should pity you. That is when you should be crying for yourself, because you are not useful. Your coming into this world is a shame, it's a disgrace, it's a waste. God will even regret bringing you into this world. Pep Nick, he said, thank you, Father, for this message. God bless you. God bless you, Daddy. Josephine said, good point, Father. Oh my God, I didn't know that they are getting this point. Oh, this one, Informal will say, Father of the universe. So people are receiving the message. To God be the glory. Now, my dear friends in Christ, let me summarize. The most important thing from today's reading, as St. Paul said, 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 25, he said, now concerning the unmarried, okay? He said, are you bound to a wife? Are you bound to a wife? Do not seek to be free. Are you free from a wife? Do not seek marriage. That is the summary of it. The world is coming to an end. Any moment from now, all these things you are, no. Just whether you are married or married, St. Paul, if you watch him, though he has given you a license, married people, that a married man concerns herself with the wife, a married wife concerns herself with the husband. But St. Paul is telling you that because we don't have time, we are at the injury time, end time. Whether you are married or married, everybody is called. Are you bound to a wife? Do not seek to be free. Are you free from wife? Do not seek marriage. But if you marry, you do not sin. Okay? Okay, it says in I go back and say, I think that in view of the impending distress, it is well for a person to remain as he is. Whichever one you have chosen, to God be the glory. But at the same time, use your position to serve God. That is the most important thing. Nobody should feel rejected again. Nobody should feel unimportant again. Okay? Whether you are married or you are not married. If you are not married, that is when you are free to do the work of God. Nobody can hinder you. Nobody can stop you. You are not looking at anybody. You are not petting anybody. Okay? Any position you find yourself, use it for the glory of God. Use it to make heaven. That is the most important thing. And I pray that today, that the good Lord will bless all the married couples and then bless the unmarried persons. Give them a sense of fulfillment. Give them the grace to use their energy, use their wealth, use everything they have got for the service of God. And I pray that all of us, both married and unmarried, we will all make heaven. That is the most important thing. That on the last day, none of us will be found wanting. Whatever position we have found ourselves today, let it be for the glory of God and for the salvation of our souls. It shall be well with you all in Jesus' name. Amen.